What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Masters of the Cultureverse. I'm your friendly neighborhood blurred, Caleb Edward Edley, here with my co-host, as always, the invincible Clay Stroman. How's it going, Clay?
It's going good, Caleb. How you living? How you feeling?
Oh, pretty good. I just moved into a new apartment, so I'm a bit tired because, lifting boxes, moving shit, and we're still not even all the way out of the old apartment, so I got to finish up some stuff over there once we get off here, and then again tomorrow, and then Thursday I'll be done. I'll just be like totally in the new place. But
So you just been hauling some cube?
pretty much just hauling cube. It's like we moved all the big stuff with the U-Haul on Saturday, but now it's just like using the cars to get. There's always like little extra like random shit that just gets left that you just have to use your car for. But
Yep, when I moved from DC to Charlotte, most of the stuff came down all together, and then my last trip was just my car just filled with bullshit, basically.
yeah. Why don't we ever just get rid of the bullshit? We always are like, I kind of need it, but like, do we?
You never know when you're gonna need that thing.
Sure, yeah. That's what I say, and that's why I'm a pack rat. But
you're never gonna need that thing.
No, you're never gonna need it. Luckily, the new place is only about like 8-10 minutes from the old place, so it's not like horrible. It's just lugging it and doing it is just like I don't wanna,
Well, congrats on the new crib.
Thank you. Come visit. We're getting a pull-out couch for the office, so you can sleep in there if you'd like.
Okay.
Next time you visit.
Alrighty.
What you reading? What you watching?
Well, I am watching myself play Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We'll get into it. We'll get into it later on. Watching myself play that game, watching myself bust a bunch of Saxon heads, and reading. What I'm reading is a lot of Dark Ages English locations.
Yeah. What?
Basically, ancient British words that places used to be called they're no longer called.
Is that in the game?
Yeah. Like Leicestershire. London used to be spelled Lunden.
That's like Swansboro used to be spelled Swans Boroughg.
Exactly.
And then they were like, that's stupid.
Right. Yeah. So I really, honestly, I have not been consuming any media other than Assassin's Creed Valhalla this week, and it's been pretty good. It's been good.
That's what's up.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, as I was saying, I've been like packing and moving, so I wanted to put something on that like I'd kind of seen / didn't really need to pay attention to that much, so that I wouldn't like lose or I wouldn't like not understand or something. So I've been I started CSI Miami, which is my favorite CSI for the record. It's on Hulu, so I just threw on season 1 of that and have been going through that.
Horatio Caine, right?
Exactly. I wanted to play a game with myself because that sounds a little weird.
You wanted to play with yourself?
I always want to play with myself, but this is a different type of playing with myself.
Cool.
So he's like famous for saying a pun, putting on the glasses, and then walking. I realized I went away from the mic, but then walking away.
Yes.
Okay, so I was watching the first episode, waiting for it, and he didn't do it. And I was like, oh, this must be like a later development type deal. And so I was like, I want to see where the first episode where he does his pun, glasses, walk away, yow thing. And so I'm on episode 10, and we just got our first like true pun. Like he said some like, is that a pun? Not really type stuff before, but he hasn't pun glasses walked off yet. So in episode 10, he just pun glasses, but didn't walk off. So now I'm waiting for the walk off.
So definitely develops.
It does.
It's a developed skill that he worked on over time and perfected.
He did, and then it became like the CSI Miami thing. And I mean, I like it. I'm here for it. It's kind of
that guy's got
cheesy,
so much style. It's crazy. And his name, Horatio Caine. You just don't really beat that.
Yeah, that's a badass name. One of the more like badass things I think he did is when he married one of his coworkers' sisters.
Hell yeah!
And then told him about it. The dude was angry, but he's like, I don't care. Glasses, yow.
Savage.
Sadly, he married her because she was dying of cancer. I don't remember the whole storyline because I watched this again when I was like middle school. I don't remember the whole storyline why he married her because she had cancer, but she had cancer. I know that. I think that might have played into the marriage thing. Fun fact, CSI is on the list of jobs I wanted to do when I was younger.
Okay.
There's a long list of things I was like, I want to do that when I'm older. CSI was one of them because of this show. Then I realized they don't actually do all that shit.
What specifically? Did you want to be Dexter just looking at blood spatter?
No.
Freak?
Well, see, from my understanding, I thought they got to go to the crime scene, get the evidence and then nail the bad guy. But then researching it to see if I actually wanted to do it for a career, they really just kind of deal with the data and the stuff. They don't get to actually go get the bad guy. And I was like, well, that's half the fun.
They just sit in the lab, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll sometimes go to the crime scene to collect the evidence. But other than that, they're just in the lab.
Yep.
CSI really lied to me.
That's TV for you, buddy.
That is. So, if you've made it this far, thank you. Please listen to the whole thing. But this is Masters of the Cultureverse. You can follow us on Instagram at masters.cultureverse. We're on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. What's up, YouTube? So make sure you check us out there. Now we've got some announcements/shouts. So this is from Jessica. Hello. I would like to shout out my wiffle ball team for winning the Sports City League Championship on Monday. We are named the Wiggle Ballers, and I request Caleb says wiggle, wiggle, wiggle like in the song in honor of our win. Thanks, boys. Keep it up, Jessica. And wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I think that's how he says it in the song, right? Do, 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 do. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There you go.
So is this the beginning of the Wiggle Ballers dynasty right here?
I think it might. New Kids on the Block came in, won the Monday Night Championship. And funny story. All right, we don't have that big of an agenda today, so I don't mind going off on a little tangent here. But all right, so last night it was a doubleheader. So it was game, see who's in the game. Wiggle Ballers win, see who's in the championship that they're gonna play, and then the championship game. So they beat this team. We'll call them the red team because I believe that's what color the shirts were. And one guy is just like a total douchebag. Like he's just talking shit to all the other guys on the team. And then like after, like he stays and watches the championship game. Then after they win, he like starts talking shit to the guys again. And he's like, hey, you know what? Well, fuck you. And like he's saying this as he's walking to the parking lot. But I'm like, this is like a wiffle ball league at a bar. It's not like it's the World Series or anything, and he's taking this so seriously that he's about to like fight with these. Well, I mean, he was trying to fight. These other guys weren't giving him the time of day, really, but he was trying to fight with this other team, and I'm like, are you fucking serious?
I mean, they say wiffle ball is life, though, right?
I believe I have heard that.
Yeah, pretty sure that's how it goes. So I can't really blame the guy. I mean, passions rise, tempers flare. I get it. There was a lot at stake. Hours later.
I mean, he's really missing out on that picture with the championship belt. They don't even get to, there's no trophy or anything. They don't get to keep it. It's just you get to take a picture with the championship belt, and that's it.
I mean, that picture is going to last forever, though.
Yeah, and it's worth 1,000 words.
They do say that as well.
They do. Well, since we're talking about wiffle ball, why don't you just go ahead and jump into sports?
Okay. So, sports. In terms of other sports balls,
they happen.
They do happen. This was week 10 of the NFL. So I mean, we're getting closer to the playoffs. We've got 7 weeks left now. So, things are starting to shape up a little bit. Teams are starting to separate themselves. But overall, this was, I don't know, kind of a mundane week. We did have a few solid games. The big game, I guess, would be probably that Cardinals-Bills game that happened Sunday night.
Yeah.
Did you see how that one ended?
I saw the ending. I didn't actually watch the game, because my busy weekend, but I saw the ending.
Yeah. So the Bills had come down, and Stephon Diggs caught a really nice touchdown catch to make them go ahead, right at the end there. And then the Cardinals come down, and Kyler Murray just throws up a Hail Mary, just throws it up to the sky. Where is it going to come down? Who knows? It comes down right in DeAndre Hopkins' hands. Obviously, he's arguably the best receiver in the league, and he went up and got it between multiple defenders, and it was just like kind of that perfect Hail Mary play. You don't really see that too much.
No.
Yeah, so it was really sweet.
You see a lot of like, clock is out, I'm just going to chuck it. Everybody's in the end zone, but you never see the receiver catch it.
Yeah.
So
I think the last one that I saw, I can't remember who the teams were, but the ball came down in like the pile, a bunch of guys jumping up for it, and it bounced off of everybody's hands into the back of the end zone. It just like kind of bounced behind them, and one of the players on offense was just kind of happened to be running past the big
that sounds familiar.
The big like cluster, and he just put his hands out, fell right into the red basket. But this one was that like the like quintessential Hail Mary where the receiver just goes up and gets it. Just Randy Mosses a couple guys and brings it down for the win. That was really sweet. Other than that, we had the Patriots actually beat the Ravens. That was a pretty interesting game. The Patriots have been up and down. The Ravens have kind of just been down. They were really, really, really good last year. Lamar Jackson was the MVP. And then, they haven't been so good this year. And the Patriots beat them, so that was kind of an interesting outcome.
Do we think the rain was a factor?
I don't know. The rain, I mean, both teams
that
were...
last little bit, I don't know, it's coming down pretty fucking hard.
Yeah, for sure. But, I mean, both teams were playing in the rain.
Oh, and can we talk about that center? Like, dude needs to get fired. Who's the center for the Ravens?
So I forget his name, but yeah, I mean, that's... As a center, you just have the one job.
Right.
So,
and he fucked it up countless times that night.
Yeah. Pretty rough. Our Panthers obviously got their asses handed to them by the Buccaneers. That was 46-23. So not the outcome you want to see, especially in a conference game, a division game. So the Panthers are just kind of like sliding down in that division. The Buccaneers are still at the top of it. Yep. I mean, other than that, we didn't really have a ton of... I mean, we had another division game. The Vikings beat the Bears last night on Monday Night Football. But, I mean, other than that, kind of an inconsequential week for football. We did... Tua actually got his third win as a starter, 3 in a row. So that's kind of interesting, too. He's obviously the rookie quarterback for the Dolphins there. So they made the executive decision to just bench Ryan Fitzpatrick, who'd been doing really nice for them, or doing really well. And we were like, okay, is Tua really the real deal? So turns out he kind of is. He's 3-0 now. So, and then actually we've got some exciting stuff happening with the NBA shaping up. So trading just opened yesterday, and already we've got like huge rumors. It looks like James Harden actually is being sent to the Nets as we speak. Sounds like there's like a verbal agreement between the two teams.
Breaking news.
Yeah, that was a Woj bomb yesterday. So James Harden's going to be on the Nets, it looks like, with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. Like, those are maybe the three best offensive players in the NBA right now. So that'll be interesting. Can they play together? We'll see. Kevin Durant hasn't even played with Kyrie yet, but he has played with James Harden way back in the day, obviously, with the Thunder. So we'll see how that plays out.
Westbrook come into the Nets as well?
So actually, I'm hearing rumors about Westbrook being involved in a trade with the Wizards for John Wall, which could be pretty cool too. Yeah. Okay. I don't know that really makes much of a difference for either team, but I mean, interesting like blockbuster point guard trade between two studs. Sure. And so we'll I don't know. I hope James Harden goes to the Nets, because that'll be really interesting to see like how those guys play together and if they all want the ball in their hands, or if they can pass it around and make it work. We'll see. But other than that, I actually did hear that they made a decision on some of the structure of the 2020-2021 NBA season. They're going to split it up into two halves, and that's like how they're going to look at it, like the first half, the second half. And I saw that they're expanding the playoffs to 20 teams, which is pretty cool. So it's just going to be a really big playoff next year.
Cool.
Yeah. Now, I mean, that kind of wraps it up for sports this week, really.
Super Bowl.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We do have The Weeknd being announced as the Super Bowl halftime show performer. That should be pretty sweet. We had a really good show last year. You remember that?
Do you think he can top it? I do.
You're saying he will?
I said, do you think he can?
Dude, no, I don't know. I mean, J-Lo and Shakira, like that was like an all-time halftime show.
It was. And I mean, I'm not like the biggest Weeknd fan. Like, his hits, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, but I'm not. So I don't know like his deep which they don't really go that deep at the halftime performance anyway. They usually play the hits, but I'm just trying to think of what he would play. Like,
I mean, it would be Blinded by the Light for sure. That's like his biggest song right now.
The Hills, maybe.
Yeah, probably. Maybe like Starboy.
I feel like a lot of his songs like are kind of slow. Like, they're not like.
I mean, he's got some bangers too.
Does he? Does he?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Blinded by the Light is kind of a banger.
Well, yeah, that one. Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. But no, I don't think he beats J-Lo and Shakira. Like, how do you top that? There's just so much star power. That was an amazing show.
No, for real.
That was just an awesome performance all around.
And I wonder who he's going to bring. You know, a lot of times they bring out like guests. I'm curious who he'll bring. Maybe Drake. Didn't they have a couple songs back to get together back in the day?
Yeah. Who was he dating? Was it Selena Gomez?
Oh, he was dating Selena Gomez.
If he brings her out.
He's going to bring her out.
Yeah. Who's she dating these days?
I think she's dating herself. I don't know.
Okay, dope. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. Used to have a crush on Selena Gomez back in the day.
You used to? What happened to it?
I don't know. It just kind of went away. She faded. My love faded.
Wow.
Your love is faded. I can feel it fade.
Yeah, maybe he brings Kanye out.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
That actually could be a very solid performance.
Is Kanye how can I put this lightly? Is he mentally prepared for that?
I would say no. I don't really know that guy's mentally prepared for many things these days.
Right, okay.
Not to speak lightly of it.
No, not at all. I'm just...
Yeah, he's got some stuff going on.
Yeah, we love you, Kanye.
Love you, Kanye. Get better, man.
Yeah, I like La for Pablo. That's probably my second favorite album of his.
Behind what, Graduation?
I was going to say College Dropout.
Oh, okay. Mine's definitely Graduation. I mean, that's like one of the best rap albums of all time.
Yeah, no, they're all good. I mean, they're all good. I'm trying to think of there's one that I'm not too jazzed on, but I mean, most of them are good. We're a Kanye podcast now.
We are to Kanye, a Podye Concast?
Podye Comcast.
Podye. We're just going to call our podcast Podye. From here on out. We're just Podye now.
I like it.
Okay.
All right. Let's talk some video games. So you've been playing Valhalla a lot. Tell us how it is. Give us a little rundown.
Yeah, I've been spending a lot of my time playing this video game, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which takes place in Dark Ages Norway and England during the Viking Age. Essentially, you are a badass Viking doing badass Viking shit. I've been loving the game. It's got its pros, it's got its cons. It actually is one of the buggiest games I've probably ever played. It's just riddled with bugs. Nothing really like game breaking, but a lot of times like things don't load and they end up looking really stupid. Sure. There's a lot of glitches, a lot of stuff going wrong. Like I said, nothing really game breaking. Although I have been kicked out of the game a few times. Like I'll get an error and then I have to like restart my PlayStation in order to start the game again, which is interesting. Yeah.
Does it like send you back to a checkpoint like farther than where you were, or are you relatively close?
So the game's pretty good about auto saving. I want to say it auto saves like pretty much anytime you do something. Go into a new area, auto saves. Pick up something new, auto saves. Kill someone, it auto saves.
Okay.
So yeah, so you never really get thrown back too far. So the game's got a ton of bugs. It's got some aspects that don't really work too well, but other than that, honestly, it's a really great game. It looks awesome, just like walking around in Norway in the mountains in the snow, and then going to England where everything turns green and there's cliffs and the ocean and the rivers. It's a really, really good looking game. It's mostly historically accurate, so I've been learning a lot about the Viking Age. I watched the show Vikings and I watched The Last Kingdom, so I've been pretty hype on Vikings for the past like year or so anyways. And I would say this game does all of that justice pretty well. And honestly, I've just been pouring hours into the game. Like there's so much to do in it. It's really fun to explore and discover new places and find new gear and weapons and unlock new shit. I'm going to be just pouring more and more hours into this game. It's going to be a while until I go on to something new, which, will be Miles Morales at some point, but I'm going to give myself some time with this game.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Speaking of Miles Morales, that's what I have been playing. So like I said, I had a big move, so I haven't had too much time to play, but I've snuck in. I've probably put maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours tops into the game. And it's only like an 8 to 10 hour game. So like a quarter of the way there, possibly, you know. I like it. I haven't found too many bugs. I've seen on Reddit some people have bugs where they're like walking through walls and shit, but I haven't run into anything that's like super annoying. Oh, there was one bug where I was like just frozen and I couldn't do anything, but the enemy was still like shooting at me and shit, but like I couldn't do anything, so I had to die and then just like restart. But that's pretty much the only thing I've found that I don't like. I really like. All right, so everybody from Spider-Man, they really liked the web swinging, right? So Insomniac obviously heard that, and so swinging as Miles, well, they've obviously made it a little different because, you know, he's younger, he's a little more experienced, so he's a little more wild and free with his swings. But you remember those like tricks you could do when you're like spinning, backflip and shit?
Yeah, and I've actually seen some of these new ones. They're pretty nifty.
No, they've added so many more. Like, so there's the basic ones like you could do with Peter, but they've added like if you like are diving and doing you do different tricks. Like, it's crazy.
Won't he pull his phone out at one point?
I'm pretty sure. I haven't figured out how to do that one yet, but I've seen like other people having it like that. So one of my favorites though is going to a tall building and jumping off, and he'll jump. You got to make him jump off backwards, and then he'll just like fall head first backwards with his like arms behind his
like in
head.
Spider-Verse.
Exactly, yeah. It's really cool. I've also seen on Reddit somebody recreated the Spider-Verse scene where he like finally comes into his own. He's running through the city to go help
the What's Up Danger scene.
Yeah. They recreated that in the game, put the music to it, and did it. It was pretty cool. But I'm really enjoying it. Miles is probably definitely my favorite superhero, so it's fun to actually get to play as him. Yeah, no, I don't have any complaints about it so far. It's
yeah, really I mean, the first game didn't really have many bugs, like at all. The system was really clean. Everything worked really well. And I know it's running off of pretty much the same system.
Yeah, and they already had all the assets and everything. It's like the same city and all that shit, so.
I did see one thing that I noticed that's different and goes along with the fact that he's like less experienced and just not as good as Peter. When you would, let's say, like fall from a really high building in the first one, Peter would just land in like the perfect superhero pose, right? That like Spider-Man pose. If you just like hit the ground. I saw that Miles can like land on his back and like actually like kind of eat shit.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
You don't take any damage from it, but like it's a nice little detail that they put in there.
Yeah. I'm excited to get this game eventually once I've I guess, you know, gotten to a point in Valhalla where I feel like I can take my focus away from it, which I got 30 hours on the game so far, and I don't like.
Holy shit!
I don't see myself getting to. I don't see myself getting to that point within the next week. We'll see.
God damn, 30 hours already? Holy shit!
I said I haven't really been watching or reading anything else.
No, you did. You did.
Literally, that's what my free time has been going into for the most part.
What's been your favorite thing about the game so far?
My favorite thing about the game, honestly, I thought it was going to be the combat, but the combat is maybe a little bit too similar to the last game, Odyssey, for my liking. Although the combat is very cool and there are a lot of different options, it's very dynamic. I think my favorite thing actually is the main character though, Eivor.
Azor, right?
Eivor. Yeah. So he's voiced by this guy who played a Viking on that show, The Last Kingdom, on Netflix. And honestly, this voice actor just kills it. Like, this character is like well-rounded. He's like smart. He's a badass like leader. He jokes around a lot and he's like sarcastic, but it's like very dry. And he also happens to just like sometimes say poetry, and people sometimes talk about like his like silver tongue and how he's so good at saying things. And then the voice actor just like rounds it all off really nicely. It just like sounds good, and the guy's just like a really cool character and he looks badass. I think he's my favorite part. But I will say another really big thing about the game for me is that there are a lot of aspects to it that remind me of the old Assassin's Creed games. So we haven't really had that in a while, so I've been loving that.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a good game.
So is his clan, I don't know if it's called a clan, but I'm going to call it a clan. Is his clan or whoever he's pillaging with, are they all assassins as well?
So he's not an assassin. So this is actually pre-assassins. The assassins don't exist yet. I'm sorry. In Origins, do they not become assassins? No, they become the hidden ones in Origins. Basically, Bayek in Origins in ancient Egypt, he starts the brotherhood, basically. Like that's, I mean, that's what everything is built off of. He kind of like coins the phrases and some of the main ideas that they take forward to become the assassins, but they're the hidden ones back then. And then chronologically, this game is the next one in the series after Origins. So they're still the hidden ones. And actually, in your clan or in your settlement in Norway, your brother, who is also a Viking, who he has been in like Constantinople or something like that for a little bit, and he brings back a couple of the hidden ones, and that's how you get kind of involved with all that. They give you the hidden blade at that point, and so you have two of these guys, two of these hidden ones that are just part of your settlement. Even after you go to England and start the new settlement, they just like chill there and like do missions with you, and that's how you get to see that side of everything. But you're just a guy leading your clan, taking over territory in England, coming from Norway, while you're exploring some of these crazy like hidden ones, like ancient creators and things like that, like the Isu, like the people who came before or whatever, all the like crazy mythological science fiction type stuff with Assassin's Creed. He's like exploring all that shit on the side.
Gotcha. So who becomes the first assassin? Do you know? Do we know? Does anybody know?
So the first assassin, I believe, was Altair in the first game.
Okay.
Yeah, which was during the Crusades, shortly after.
What is that? 1200?
I don't really know. I want to say this game takes place in like 800, 600. I think it's like 660. I think the Dark Ages was like 600 to 800.
When were the Dark Ages?
Watch me be wrong.
476 to 800.
Okay. So I was right in there. I think that I want to say the game takes place in like 650, something like that.
Or some people say 500 to 1,000, but you know,
Okay.
you're still in that range.
Yep.
And one more. When were the Crusades? 1095. So it's gonna be like right after this game, I would assume. That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Altair was like the first assassin. I never played the Altair games.
So I could be wrong about that because that was the first. He was only in the very first game, and that was so long ago. I believe it was like 07.
I mean, I would assume they would make him because I'm sure they had no idea that it was gonna become this whole big thing. So you're probably right. He probably was the first assassin.
Yeah, but it's been sweet. I mean, I've been learning a lot about Dark Ages England and Viking culture and how everything worked back then. It's been pretty cool. And then just while I'm doing all that, I'm just like cutting people's heads off and just doing all this crazy bloody combat.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's a pretty sweet game. Would definitely recommend. Although it's got some work that needs to be done on it. You know, I mentioned it's pretty much the buggiest game I've ever played. At one point I was fighting somebody, and on like the final like killing stroke, for some reason my character just got shot up like 1,000 feet into the air, and then I was just free falling. Like it literally felt like I was dropping in on Fortnite. Like, where are we dropping, boys? And then my guy just hits the ground and desynchronizes.
Jesus, that sounds annoying.
Yep. Yeah, so there's going to be, I mean, they're going to support the game for the next year. So they're going to be rolling out a ton of new features and new gear and new game modes and DLC and stuff like that. And obviously a bunch of patches and updates. So they're going to fix all this stuff and keep adding stuff for the next year.
Nice. Altair was the first assassin.
Okay.
And did you see, this isn't on the outline, but Marvel's Avengers loses 96% of the players that were playing it, is the headline I saw.
Oh my God.
96%. I didn't fact check it or anything, but that's a lot.
Where'd you read that?
It was a headline. Whenever I open a new tab,
I mean, I believe it.
On my Chrome, on my phone, it just has like little headlines, and it was one of those, and I was like, holy shit, but I was trying to search something, so I didn't like click on it and read it. But 96%.
I'm always seeing those quick little headlines on my Chrome app too.
Yeah.
And I barely ever even look at them, but I believe that number. I believe that 96% thing.
Oh, I do too.
That's
and I'm
wild.
part of the 96, so.
Yeah. I mean, you stopped playing that game a while ago.
I did. I probably stopped playing it. Okay, I was about to say after I beat the story, but
You never beat the story.
I went to I was like, this is the last mission in the story. And I was like, ooh. And then I didn't beat it. But I stopped playing after that.
And I never got the game at all.
You're not missing much. The story, good. Not great. Could be longer. Because it's a short story because they were banking on this whole like online Destiny type shit that they were trying to do. But it was repetitive and boring and nobody liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were supposed to get a fucking November DLC. Where's that?
Was that supposed to be Hawkeye?
Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Things are looking rough over there.
They are. And I've said it before, but it's probably because they were about to make the game one thing and then changed more than halfway through and were like, oh, no, we got to pivot and do this. And then it just became shit. Which is sad because
you hate to see it. This game was supposed to be the one.
It was.
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it.
Hopefully they can maybe learn from this. I don't even know if they have enough money to make a sequel at this point, but I just want a good version of this type of game.
Yeah, me too. And I don't think Square Enix are the ones to do it.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe just let Sony do all of it.
Maybe. Insomniac did a pretty good job with Spider-Man, so I don't see why why they couldn't build off that and just like slowly maybe do like an MCU type deal with, I mean, I guess they would have to buy the rights, but whatever.
I mean, do it for the good of the consumers.
Say again.
Do it for the good of the consumers, for the good of the fans. Do it for us, bro.
We're begging over here.
Please.
Moving on to television. Umbrella Academy officially renewed for season 3, which is good because we kind of ended on a cliffhanger, so it would suck if it didn't get renewed.
Yeah, that's kind of a given though, right?
Well, yeah, but it's official now.
Yep.
So they'll start production in February.
I'm pumped for season 3. Should start out pretty interesting. We're gonna have a bunch of interesting events happen.
And I've read all the comics and I don't know, like they're different. So like they've gone so off script. I don't know what's going to happen, which is fun for me because like, you know, sometimes you're like, I've read this comic. I know what's happening. I know what's coming. In this case, we don't.
What's better, show or comics?
Can't compare them. They're too different. Like I will say the show is better for character development because all the characters get a lot more to do than what they do in the comics. The comics are very straightforward, kind of like nobody does like too much of one thing. You just kind of pop, pop, pop. Whereas in the show, you get time to develop and things like that. So I would say maybe for that reason, I would say the show, just because there's more development, you get to know the characters more.
Sure. Okay.
But again, they're very different. The comic is like bonkers. It's like Alice in Wonderland on acid.
I feel like Alice in Wonderland is already on acid.
Exactly. That's my point.
Wow. Okay.
WandaVision releases January 15th, so fuck you, Kat Dennings, who said it would come out in December. Yeah, what are you lying for?
How could you do this to us?
I was so pumped. I was like, all right, Mando finishes, then I'm going to get WandaVision. And they're like, psych, Mando finishes, and then you got to wait a month.
Yep. At least it's only a month, I guess.
I guess. But we're supposed to have one of those shows like already, I feel like. Or like in 2020.
I think Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision were supposed to come out 2020.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive too.
Yeah.
But
that's how things go these days, man.
Yeah, fuck you, Corona. Not the beer. I like the beer.
The beer is solid. Actually, Corona seltzers are like maybe like my second favorite seltzer.
What's the first?
Vizzies.
White Claw?
Vizzies.
Oh, you're a Vizzy guy.
Vizzy gang.
Is that what they do?
No. That's not even a V. It's more like a U.
Yeah, you dummy. I think I had my first Vizzy on Friday.
They're more expensive for a reason.
Was it pineapple mango?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best one.
It was all right.
Yeah, I think Vizzies. I like Vizzies because they're just like a little bit more flavorful. Mm-hmm. Like they don't really taste like what you would expect a seltzer to taste like to me.
Sure. I will say the one I had was too heavy on the pineapple, not enough of the mango.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big mango guy.
Gotcha. think they were trying to play it safe with that one. Pineapple's a little bit more mainstream.
Jessica hates pineapple.
Oh, wow.
And they're making it specifically for her, so.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know how they botched that one.
They really
That should have been a layup.
It should have been. Jeez. Instead, it's a fast break for the other team.
Yeah.
Moving on. Fresh Prince reunion streaming November 19th on HBO Max. That's this week.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'll watch it. Sure.
You're not going to watch it. You're too busy learning about the Dark Ages.
That's true. I'll watch it eventually.
I'll watch it this week and let you know how it is. Okay.
It'll still be there after I'm done with Valhalla, which...
No, as soon as I watch it, it leaves HBO Max.
Oh, okay. I got you. So they're putting it up there for you.
Yeah, like Vizzy is made for Jessica. This Fresh Prince reunion is specifically made for me.
Y'all got some pull.
I got a lot of pull.
How you get sway like that?
You got to know somebody.
I want to know somebody. I know you.
I was about to say, Jessica. You know me. You know both of us. So
I know both of y'all.
You have like double the pool. So what are you doing?
Okay. I'll take it.
All right.
I guess I just don't know how to harness it.
Just put it in the palm of your hand. And
just harness the sway.
Harness it. Moving on to movies. Okay. We're going to do an ASMR podcast.
I'm in.
Not today, but one day we'll do a whole episode as ASMR.
I have a Snickers bar that I'm going to slowly peel out of the wrapper and then place into my mouth and chew. It's going to probably sound disgusting. But that's the type of podcast we are now, apparently.
Think of it as moving the pizza closer to his mouth.
Yeah, that.
No, I'd prefer him think of it as degrading.
Can we stop this?
Sure. Movies. Mads Mikkelsen is in talks to replace Johnny Depp as Grindelwald. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it too.
I feel like he looks weird enough to play like Grindelwald because I always pictured him being like a weird kind of like Eastern European kind of dude, which Mads kind of looks like. So
yeah.
If you don't know, Mads Mikkelsen was in Rogue One. He played Jyn Erso's dad. He was also in Doctor Strange. What was his name in Doctor Strange? I can't think.
Caecilius?
Yes.
I think. Yes. He was like evil Doctor Strange, basically.
Yes, he was the main villain in the Doctor Strange movie.
He was also the main villain in, what's the first Daniel Craig James Bond? Casino Royale?
Yeah, Casino Royale. Yes, I forgot.
Yeah, he did the scene where he strapped James Bond to a chair naked and then had that big knotted rope. Yep. It's a brutal scene.
The chair has a hole in the bottom. So
chair has a hole in the bottom of it.
Hit his balls.
Yep.
That sounds painful.
Sounds very painful. It's also creative.
I'll say.
Pretty creative form of torture.
For sure.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt will be in Thor: Love and Thunder, which I kind of assumed since Thor goes with the Guardians.
Right, the Asgardians of the Galaxy, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. That was kind of a given, but I'm a big Chris Pratt guy. Actually, people don't really like him that much these days.
The worst Chris.
Yeah. Which I don't really know that a whole lot of that is like fully his fault. You know, he just has his faith, whatever. I'm a big Chris Pratt guy. He seems like a really good dude overall.
Yeah, he seems like a silly, genuine, fun to hang out with, grab a beer with kind of guy.
Yeah.
I'd chill with him.
I would chill with him too. I would want to grab a beer with that dude. Talk dinosaurs.
Chris Pratt, if you're ever in the neighborhood, let us know and we'll grab a beer with you.
Yeah. Or you could just come on the pod.
Even better. And then I'll send you a beer and we can all drink beers on the pod together.
Did I say or? I meant and or. No, I just meant and.
Just and.
Yeah. Yeah, because the beers are still happening. Exactly. Regardless.
Stallone, that's Sylvester Stallone, joins the cast of The Suicide Squad, which is interesting.
Yeah, James Gunn, I think, is filming. Yeah, that is interesting. And I think James Gunn is just a big Stallone guy. I mean, he was in Guardians too. So I think they probably like met up for something. We're chatting after a while. And James is just like, hey, actually, let's throw you in this movie. Let's bring some people back for a little bit. Let's do some reshoots.
Sure. The rumor is he's possibly doing one of the voice roles since they are done with principal photography. But It could also be like a little stinger or something like Guardians.
Voice role for who?
Who is it? King Shark? No, not King.
Well, they already have his voice. And the rat.
There's another one. There's one more. I can't remember.
There's the rat guy.
That one. The raccoon. No, he's a rat, right?
It's a rat, yeah. But I want to say they already
Weasel.
have a voice.
He's a weasel.
He looks like a rat, but his name's Weasel.
But he's a rat?
I think he's probably a weasel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't picture a weasel with Sylvester Stallone's voice, though.
No, I can't either. I cannot. Maybe they just like throw in like a random cameo or something.
That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe they'll like make a whole new character and we won't even know it's him.
But it's crazy that they say joins the cast, because like when he did that for Guardians, they didn't make a big, you know what I mean? It seems like they're making too big of a deal of it for it to just be a cameo. But we could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I think we're just gonna have to wait and see how it plays out.
That's the name of the game. That's the name of the episode. Wait and see how it plays out.
It's the name of my life.
Let's move on to our main topics. So, if you have not caught up on The Mandalorian, this is your warning for spoilers. 3,
Go on, get out of here.
2, 1. Clay.
This episode was awesome.
It was awesome. It's probably my favorite episode of the season so far. No, not probably. Definitely.
Definitely my favorite episode of the season. One of my favorite episodes of the series.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay.
This one was sick. I mean, it had a ton of action. It had a ton of like Mandalorian shit. And it moved the story forward really well. Opened up a bunch of different possibilities. This was a good one.
One of my favorite things is we're seeing a character from the animated series in live action for the first time.
And she looks exactly the same. Same exact helmet, same armor. She sounds
exactly the same because
it's
her voice actor.
That's awesome. Which is interesting because when she took her mask off, I mentioned a few weeks ago that we watched Oculus recently. So Karen Gillan's in it, but Katie Sackhoff, who was playing Bo-Katan in this episode, was her mom in the movie. Yep.
She doesn't look old enough to be Karen Gillan's mom.
Yeah, so it was in the past. So she was her mom in the past when she was a kid.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, damn, she looks good for her age, I guess.
Mom, well, no spoilies, but...
For Oculus?
Yes.
Okay, no spoilies for Oculus, just for Mando. But yes, no, I liked seeing live action, and obviously she name dropped Ahsoka, so we're gonna see her soon. Hopefully next episode.
Hopefully.
Probably not, but I think they're gonna dangle us a little bit more.
Well, what was this, episode 3?
Yeah.
4?
3.
Okay. Yeah, so we've got some time left, but I hope Ahsoka's not like a season finale person.
I don't think she is. I think we're gonna meet her, and then it's gonna be like every other character. Meet her in one episode, go your separate way. Everybody teams up at the end.
Yeah, I think so too.
And it looks like it's shaping up to be we're teaming up to take on Moff Gideon type deal here.
Right, because they're looking for that damn Darksaber, which is awesome.
Yeah.
God, and so what I thought was really interesting was, so we had been kind of thinking for a while, why can't Mando take his helmet off, like him and his people? Because we've seen Mandalorians take their helmets off left and right. In the old Star Wars movies, in Clone Wars, the characters we saw in this episode did it. They're in Clone Wars.
Did we see a Mandalorian in the old Star Wars?
Okay, so the people who we thought were Mandalorians in the old Star Wars were taking their helmets off. Jango and Boba Fett. But I guess more like accurately, we've seen it in Clone Wars and in Rebels, and the characters that were in this episode in Clone Wars were constantly taking their helmets off, and all the Mandalorians around them, even on the planet Mandalore, where all the real Mandalorians are. So we were kind of thinking, okay, so what's going on with Mando, and why can't he take his helmet off, and why is he so like religious? Why does he have these views? Why doesn't he know about the Jedi when Mandalorians are basically like the sworn enemies of the Jedi? And we found all that out in this episode. He's like a different branch of Mando. He's like a more religious, like cult branch, basically.
It's like Catholics versus like Baptists or something. I'm just trying to think of two different denominations of the same shit.
I was thinking like Catholics versus Scientologists.
Scientologists aren't even Christians.
I didn't. Okay.
I was thinking
not actually what I was going for.
What were you going for?
I was going for Catholics versus Mormons.
Oh, okay. You said Scientology. Okay, I got you. All right.
Scientologists, I think, worship like a space lizard or something. So that's different.
They do, yeah.
Something like that.
Your Thetans. You got to get those, whatever.
Something.
Different podcast.
Yeah. That's our other podcast.
Check it out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Yeah.
Just type Masters of the Cultureverse.
So anyways. Yeah, this episode was sweet. The action was really dope. I mean, it's been a while since we've had like solid fight scenes with other people. I mean, he's been fighting like creatures for the past couple episodes.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, I agree. So it was very, very cool.
Yeah, this was sweet. So
I'm really excited to see lightsaber, dark saber fight. That's what I'm like. Because I always like, okay, in the original trilogy, the lightsaber fights kind of sucked. But I mean, that's to be expected. They weren't like choreographed.
Those movies were just super old.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
But like in the newer ones and in the prequel trilogy, like the lightsaber duels were like really fucking cool, and I'm all about them. So
yeah, in the prequel trilogy, the lightsaber duels were like so extravagant. They were like super overblown, like people flipping their lightsabers all over the place, doing front flips and shit.
You remember in Revenge of the Sith? It was like at one point it was on Mustafar, Anakin and Obi-Wan, they're doing their duel, and at
they're
one
not
point,
touching lightsabers. They're
just fucking spinning them next to each other.
They're just spinning them in front of each other like over and over again.
Right, yeah.
I guess the idea is that they're like so evenly matched that like they're just like reading each other for a little bit or something, but it's like y'all are literally sitting there doing nothing. It's like just doing a crossover in the same spot over and over again on a basketball court.
Yeah, even as a kid I watched that and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because I mean, it looks kind of cool. I guess. I mean,
it looks cool.
Flipping around some like lit up swords.
Yeah, but you know, Ahsoka, she's got dual lightsabers, and you know, the dark saber. You're supposed to be really good if you like have won it off somebody or taken it from somebody or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for a good duel.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I mean, I think this season is it's shaping up to be better than the last one, even though it has started out slower.
Sure.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to see the Marshal again? We should, right?
Oh, for sure. He's going to join when we fight Moff Gideon.
Right. Cool.
Yeah, definitely. More
the squad. I'm liking the squad that we have in season 2 better than season 1 squad. By the way, where's what's her name? Cara
Dune.
Yeah, where's she at?
And Chubbs. Where's Chubbs?
Who's Chubbs?
Apollo Creed. Carl Weathers. Black dude.
Oh, yeah. Carl Weathers, who played himself in Arrested Development.
Broke as shit.
Yeah.
But they were both Cara Dune and I can't think of his name in the show, so I called him Chubbs from Happy Gilmore. Her and Chubbs are both on the poster, so yeah, I don't know where they are.
Right. We'll see him. Either way, I'm pumped for the rest of the season. I mean, this episode was dope.
Yeah, agreed. We are both pumped.
Officially
Moving
pumped.
on to... What's up?
Officially hyped.
That's it. It's official. He's hyped. Moving on to The Bachelorette. I think overall, this newest episode was... It was just kind of slow. Like, there was not a whole lot happening. I mean, just...
Fairly
I guess
uneventful.
we need a breather from the first few episodes where Claire was just blowing shit up, but...
Yep. Yeah, it was nice. It was nice to have an uneventful one with a normal woman for once.
With a normal woman, yes. So I mean, we start off and she's like talking to the guys who stayed, which is all of them. Blah blah blah. Chris interrupts. I don't remember who he interrupts. And he says, "Let me take Tasha for a minute." He's like, "You didn't think you were just gonna be with these guys?" And he brings in 4 new guys. And that's when we get introduced to Spencer, who right off the bat is just like a big dickhole.
He's such a douche.
For real.
And boy band manager even told him, he was like, "Hey man, you come off like a douche."
He does.
Do you know that about yourself?
Are you aware? Like I forget who asked him, like, "Oh, so like how many new guys are there?" He's like, "You'll see."
Yeah, what a dickhead.
Like, you could just say 4.
You'll see just like a couple more walk in after that.
Yeah, it was not that big a
Like
deal.
that man came in hot, just like trying to, I guess, like impose himself on everyone else, like from the get go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know. It rubbed me the wrong way. It rubbed the guys the wrong way.
No, yeah.
But Tasha likes him, and I want to say that they showed him later on in like the late episodes on the preview going forward.
Possibly, I don't remember. I do remember seeing a lot of Noah, who's another new guy, and it looks like he's going to start stirring some trouble.
Is he the mustache guy?
Yes.
Yep. In the preview, it looks like he, I don't know, he might be like some sort of big shithead.
Probably.
Yeah, like he's been like hiding something, or he's not who we thought he was. That type of thing.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean the mustache kind of tells it all, right?
Yeah. Sorry, Ethan.
Sorry, Clint. The guy looks exactly like my brother.
You think so?
Yeah.
I gotta look at a picture of him again.
Yeah, he looks a lot like Clint whenever Clint has that mustache.
So afterwards, we get introduced. Dude's a big douchebag, but he gets the first impression rose. Tasha,
of course, he does.
The first impression rose.
Naturally. Naturally.
Mm-hmm. So she says there's not going to be a rose ceremony. You know, usually there's a rose ceremony. All the guys are like relieved because a lot of them haven't had a chance to talk to Tasha yet. Which
it seemed like most of the old guys on that first night, they just didn't really talk to her.
Yeah, it was interesting. You would think they would like be kind of top dogs ish because they've been there.
I think it was just like kind of a weird situation. A little bit. I don't know. And they also probably framed it that way too.
Probably.
Yeah.
Going back though to Noah, yes, from far away on this tiny picture, and if I squint my eyes a little bit, he does look like Clint.
Shout out Clint.
Do you listen, Clint?
Brother of the podcast.
So after that, we get some shit that I didn't really give a shit about. I thought it was about to be the rest of the episode with the Claire Dale.
Dude,
talk.
so did I.
No.
Thank God it wasn't.
I'm not here for that. Yeah, luckily they kept it short, sweet. Yeah, me too. She once again says that like they didn't text, they didn't Instagram DM, nothing, blah, blah, blah.
They have to say that to their graves now.
Yeah, I still don't believe it. But she's like baby crazy. He still looks a little scared if you look at him. I don't know what's going on there. But I'm glad we're done.
Mm-hmm. Glad
so
we're
we
done.
move on to a date. I'm not going to list off all the guys. You watched the episode. So we get some water basketball where fucking Riley elbows Spencer, gives him a nice little lip cut. I like that Riley was like, yeah, I don't know, his face just ran into my elbow.
That's probably a dude that you don't want to take an elbow from that dude. Those arms are enormous.
Fuck no.
That dude,
I would have been shitting myself after the date, you know, when they're doing like the not one-on-one, but they're doing the little cocktail shit. He's like calling Spencer out and like he looks very intimidating.
Oh yeah, when he was like, you know, guys like you from where I'm from, or like back where I'm from, guys like you. What did he say?
He said we call him lunch meat.
Yeah, lunch meat. I like how he said it in the little testimonial thing in front of the cameras, and then he said it like to Spencer.
Yeah, exactly. He's fried bologna sandwich with mayonnaise all day. That's what he said at one point.
Love it. Those two guys are very different.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Riley would kick his ass in a fight, hands down.
Oh yeah. It's very satisfying. Like, what's Spencer gonna do? What are you gonna do to that guy?
Nothing.
No, you're gonna take that elbow.
Yeah, and he did. And then
you're gonna eat it like lunch meat.
Tasha comes over and checks on him, you know, blah blah blah. He gets a little attention. Everybody's like, oh, he's milking it, which he obviously was.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, you can't really blame him, right?
Yeah, no, yeah. You got to use whatever tools you get.
Got to work with what you got.
Yeah.
It's a game.
That's all it is a game.
Love is a game.
So then we cut to Jason, and he's talking to some of the guys, and he's like, yeah, you know, really fell for Claire. I was falling in love with her. And,
opened up. Didn't want to do it, but opened up.
And he was like, you know, I can't give Tasha what she needs. and I don't want to take any time away from you guys when I know I'm not really in it. And
he's a good guy.
I thought that was a stand-up move.
Stand-up guy, great guy.
And everybody else thought the same thing. They're like, that's good on you. Even Tayshia, when he finally goes to her and says, I'm leaving because of this, and this, in her confessional, she's like, that was a man. Like he was like very open about like, he was really hoping to make something work with Claire, and he didn't want to lead her along or waste anybody's time, which I know, classy guy.
Yeah. And even more, not even more so, but also on Tayshia's side of things, she was really classy about it too. I mean, first of all, she's awesome. And she was so cool about it. She basically told him like, look, I get it, but I still want you to stay here. Like, why give up something that's right in front of you that like maybe could be something great, right, just for the past or whatever. She wanted him to stay, and she doesn't know this guy, right. She doesn't know him at all, but she wanted him to stay. She wanted him to see it through. She's just like such a breath of fresh air compared to Claire. Right. And dude, even with, the fact that she didn't want to give out a rose on that first night, like that was awesome. I was sitting there thinking like, what about some of these new guys that are feeling like kind of left out on night one? They're probably still feeling weird because literally Claire happened that morning, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, then she's like, look, we're not doing a rose thing, which I feel like that's totally appropriate.
Oh yeah. No, I was all for it.
She just seems super mature. She seems super cool. She shows that more in tonight's episode. We're recording on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she's great.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, she's very self-aware. She's like, it might have been a little jealousy on my part that I wanted him to stay, but he wanted to go, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, good on everybody involved. Jason, Tayshia.
Great. Not Claire.
Fuck you, Claire.
Good on Chris Harrison too.
Yeah. Speaking of, Tayshia gets a one-on-one date with Brendan, and they're like horseback riding around the resort. And then Chris Harrison pops up and he's like, hey, Chris Harrison, famous margaritas. And he gives him margaritas.
He's trying to find a moment to kiss her or something, right?
Yeah, the whole time he's like, geez, I want to kiss her. Like, when am I going to do it? And then he's like, Chris Harrison keeps popping up because after he gives him the margaritas, this motherfucker runs around, gets on a fucking electric scooter, scoots past the route they're going to go to, comes up again. He's like, ice cream. Who wants ice cream? Yep. Interrupting what Brendan thinks is going to be his time to kiss, which I don't like. You're not going to kiss on a horse. I've ridden horses. Like it's not going to happen. Like just wait till you get off on the ground,
Yeah. You don't want to be trying to lean over on those things or like embrace each other on those things. Like, nah.
Yeah. It's not going to be fun when shit goes down, but right. They're swimming in the pool and he finally gets to make his move, and then they start kissing, yada yada yada. They go on a date, they get fireworks and all this shit. He gets his rose, so he's safe. And it's just a pretty run of the mill date. Nothing.
So I hadn't seen much from Brendan from the Claire days, and the dark days. The dark ages. He killed it with Tayshia. I mean, he even said it himself. Like he very clearly like isn't necessarily the smartest dude. But he's like genuine. He's nice. Like his heart's like in the right place. He knows what he wants, and he's been married before, just like her. So,
right. Ooh, I forgot to say that was like he was nervous to tell her.
Yeah. But she's been married before too, and they just like really hit it off. And he seems like a very cool dude. I just like didn't really see much of him from before.
We didn't really see much of anybody that wasn't Dale.
Right.
Or Yosef for a little bit.
Yeah, there were a choice few that were like involved here and there or trying to be, but
sure.
But yeah. Brendan, good dude, Brendan.
And then, as you said, this episode that you're watching right now, it seems to be a good episode, right?
There's some drama.
Oh yes, that's what I watch for.
Yeah, we got a rivalry between two of the boys. So they used to be on such good terms. They used to be boys, when Claire was kind of the common enemy, but now that they all actually like the girl who's there and she likes them back, the game has changed.
Is it Riley and Easy?
No, it's not. It's I can tell you if you want.
I'm going to watch the episode on Thursday.
Okay, so It's Ed and Chasen.
Oh.
Ed is Wreck-It Ralph.
Ed is Wreck-It Ralph?
Yeah, he's the guy that looks like Wreck-It Ralph. And then
I never thought about that, but okay, I guess I can see it. Yeah. I mean, I don't really give a shit about Ed, so
or Chasen.
Yeah, I don't really give a shit about either, but if I had to pick one, I would pick Chasen, I guess.
Yeah, Ed is kind of like making up some stuff to like cause drama between him and Chasen. He just like has it in his head very strongly that he wants Chasen to go home, so he's like trying to start the whole he's not here for the right reasons, like classic. That type of thing. Yep. I mean, somebody says that every single season, regardless.
This has got to be like
producers
whispering in their ears, right? Being like, you should
talk like y'all are getting along too well.
Yeah, like because it happened, like you said, it happens like every season. Somebody says it, and it kind of just appears out of nowhere. I mean, maybe they talk off camera, but I can't see anybody being like talking to somebody and be like, I'm just here to be on TV. Like you wouldn't say that to anybody because you're all competing at all times.
Right. Yeah. And his whole thing with Chasen is, he's a different guy when the cameras are off versus when they're on. But I haven't seen any of that. He seems boring off and on camera. Like when she's not around, he seems like a boring dude. When she's around,
how would you
he
have
just
seen
seems
him
like a
off camera, Clay?
I guess I meant when she's around versus when she's not.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which I assume that's what they mean for the most part.
No, I mean, he probably means on and off camera because I'm sure there's some stuff they're not filming.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. A couple guys get salty with Bennett, actually.
Not Bennett.
Mm-hmm. But he's pretty good at overcoming that type of thing. Like at the end of the day, he doesn't really give a shit.
Yeah,
he's gonna do his thing. If you don't like it, whatever. He does do a couple of things that people don't like in this episode.
He's my favorite.
But the Ed Chasen drama overshadows that for sure.
Gotcha. I think we saw some of that in the preview, so I'm excited to see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a wrestling match too. So I
and
I didn't get a chance.
Hops the cage.
I didn't get a chance to see it, but they had been like boiling this Ed and Chasen drama, just like they've been like heating it up the entire time. And then they say, "Okay, so now you're wrestling." So I didn't see it yet because I came to record, but that should be fun.
Awesome. Can't wait to watch.
Hopefully you get some blood.
There will be blood. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Masters of the Cultureverse. I tried to class that up a little bit. Did it come through?
It was good.
Okay.
It was good. We'll work on it.
All right. I'm going to give everybody who's listening homework. You have to introduce one friend to the podcast. Just share the podcast with one friend, and then that friend will hopefully share with another friend and another friend, and then we'll grow this Masters of the Cultureverse family until we can become a dominating clan that goes back to the Middle Ages and starts fucking with Viking settlements. I don't know. I was trying to connect the whole episode together. It didn't really work.
There was a try.
There was a try.
An attempt has been made.
And it failed.
Not necessarily.
The homework still stands. Introduce the podcast to one friend. That's all we ask. Just one friend. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at masters.cultureverse. Send us an announcement, a shout, whatever you want. Email it at masters.cultureverse@gmail.com, or you can DM us on Instagram. You can listen to this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. So make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We love seeing you, even though we can't see you.
We love seeing you guys.
We love seeing you, and you
weren't supposed to give that away, dude.
I'm sorry.
You're supposed to keep that on the sneak.
We can't see anything.
I swear we cannot see you.
We cannot. We'll catch you next week. I'm Caleb. That's Clay. We're the Masters of the Cultureverse. See you later.